Some consumers say the raid in the Johannesburg city centre will have a negative impact on their own small businesses. Customers travelling from different parts of the country to stock up on goods sold in the city centre say they are unhappy with the aftermath of the police raid. Yesterday, law enforcement officials seized counterfeit goods worth millions of rands. But for more now on this issue, we have on the line with us Brigadier Mathapelo Peters. She is Gauteng Police spokesperson. Brigadier, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for coming through. Let's just recap yesterday's events, of course. 500 million worth of counterfeit goods seized.
Good afternoon, Palisa and Peter, as well as your viewers. Yes, indeed. Yesterday we were in the Johannesburg CBD on an operation which targeted largely counterfeit goods. We confiscated counterfeit goods worth multi-millions of rands, although the final value is yet to be determined. Even yesterday, our members as well as brand owners had not finished counting and calculating what the final value is. But we also had other significant successes related to this operation yesterday.
And many of these goods, of course, were found in the possession of foreign nationals. What happens now to those who have been found to be undocumented? About 560 of them are undocumented. And of course, the police service had said that they have been taken in for processing. How far is that particular process now?
Palisa, legally we have 48 hours within which we must have processed these people that were taken in. So we have until tomorrow to be able to give a definitive answer and direction in as far as what would be the next step. But basically why we took them in was because we needed to verify their status in the country. And also we did find some of those who had documents, but then our counterparts from the Department of Home Affairs suspected that these could be fraudulent as well, and hence the verification needed to be done. But over and above that, we also had our own local criminal record center officials who were there to verify that no previous crime had been committed in the country before. So we will only really be able to give further direction once the 48-hour period has lapsed. And we are working closely also with the Department of Home Affairs, like I said, as well as the magistrates to make sure that we are able to conclude this process so that once we detain and whatever decisions are taken by the Department of Home Affairs, it is done within the confines of the law.
And I think, Brigadier, worth noting really is the arrest of some of your members who were attempting to resell the counterfeit goods, and also some members of the TRT were apparently given out information or leaked information about this raid. This raises lots of questions about the caliber of law enforcement officials that we have in the system.
Palisa, indeed, that is so true. It's embarrassing. It's a slap in the face. But I mean, it's 7 members versus a large deployment of members who are there in the area. And for us, what is most exciting is that our members who arrested their colleagues also had a choice to collude with them further. But they then decided, you know what, we're going to arrest these people just to show that police are serious about eradicating crime. Just in the beginning of the year, when our provincial commissioner was redeployed to the province, General Mawela did say that one of his priorities would be to root out corrupt elements within the South African Police Service. So that is why we actually even didn't hide that yesterday, but we went public to say that, you know what, while we were busy with this, this is what some of our members were doing, and we have arrested them.
And during the raid, a number of firearms and ammunition were also confiscated. We're talking about 6 rifles, 6 pistols, shotguns, and hundreds of ammunition there. Talk to us about that.
Yes, indeed. We, like I said earlier in some of the interviews that we did, we found in this one building that was one of the buildings that we targeted, on the 12th floor, the lifts were conveniently not working, but we walked up the stairs. We found a very, very large consignment, but over and above that, there was one room where we were told it's an office of a security company. However, the person that we ended up arresting, who was found in possession of these firearms, could not provide proof of licenses for these firearms. So they were taken in, they were confiscated, and they will be subjected to further testing, to further ballistic testing, just to make sure that they haven't been used in the commission of crime in the country.
But all in all, Brigadier, how many people were arrested besides this 560 that were still to be checked if they are legal in South Africa?
Besides the 560 undocumented nationals, as well as the one suspect that was arrested for the firearms, for unlicensed possession of firearms, and our members, I need to put into perspective that the reason why our members, our own SABC members, were arrested was we got a feeling when we arrived in the area that there was a tip-off, so the shops were closed. We didn't find anyone in some of these shops, so we didn't really have much arrests over and above those that I've already mentioned. So we basically just had to deal with the counterfeit goods that were confiscated.
And of course, we know that this wasn't the first raid of this nature. It has happened before. How will the police services ensure that the kind of counterfeit goods that were confiscated do not find a way, or rather do not find a way of making it back to the shops?
Palisa, yesterday our provincial commissioner did confirm that we have realized that the City Deep is also used as a sort of like a port of entry where some of this merchandise comes through and then it finds its way to Johannesburg. And the reason why we actually targeted this specific vicinity in the Joburg CBD was because we realized that it is a supply point, it is a distribution point. So as the police in Gauteng, we are working very hard on making sure that that part is addressed. But over and above that, I'm sure through media publicity, you've seen that a number of government departments have come on board because we've realized that this problem is much bigger than the police. So we need all these other government departments to come to the party so that we curb this, we make sure that it doesn't even get to the country. But having said that, ironically, we also confiscated some machinery on the same building, Medical One Shopping Center. You could see that this machinery had been used to manufacture some of the logos of these brands, as well as some of these branded clothing items and sneakers that were found there. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it crosses the border. Some of it could have been manufactured in the country as well, and hence the focus on that building, that we believe once we cut off the supply, then we will have we will have some impact on what we're trying to achieve.
All right. And what else will this operation Okaimolao be focusing on going forward besides the raids?
Okaimolao is a much broader approach to fighting crime. So we are directed by our crime intelligence as well as our crime pattern analysis. For instance, we were in Benoni today. We know that in the East Rand, we have a problem of illicit mining. So the dynamics would be different to those in the Johannesburg CBD. So when we do our operational plans, we start by identifying the problematic areas in a specific area that we're planning to go to, and then we deal with that. So it is a very broad approach. So this one of the Johannesburg CBD, I mean, just last week when we were attacked by these violent foreign nationals, it was because we had received information that a consignment worth over 10 million rands had been brought through into Johannesburg. And hence we went back yesterday just to reassert the authority of the state.
All right, just very quickly, Brigadier, the illicit mining in Benoni, were there any arrests made?
Not as far as the illicit mining, but at the roadblocks, yes, there were some successes, as well as wanted suspects who were arrested by our detectives who started operating in the area on Wednesday night. We've had successes, but we are still busy consolidating the figures.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Brigadier Mathapelo Peters, she's a Gauteng police spokesperson talking to us there on the line.